Hello, hello. How are you, Sabine?
Hello. Hi, hi.
We're going to talk about water.
Yes.
Yes, very important topic.
I think I'm probably the first today. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to follow everything. Am I the first to talk about water or not?
No. We had also a professor and she was talking about all the three elements that we're going to need a lot in 2050. And that was food, energy and water. And that's a huge problem. So we need to be careful with that.
Exactly. Okay. So would you like me to start going?
Yes. Do you have a presentation with you?
I have a presentation. I'd like to just quickly, briefly,
yes.
How do you say that? To start like this, and then I'll start up my presentation.
Cool.
Okay.
There you go. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Sabine Stuiver. I'm the CMO and the co-founder of Hydraloop. Basically, this topic is about water in the built environment. And this is one of the elements of water that has been completely and utterly forgotten for the past years when we're talking about sustainability and smart cities and ESG, because we've been focusing on carbon, which is very important, and energy. But of course, water is like the new gas and oil. So what we're experiencing right now with the pricing also of energy, this will happen the same with water. Because basically, by 2050, we will have 2 billion more people on the planet, and 65% of us will be living in urban environments, and we will need 55% more water than we are using today. And we're already running out. So we're facing a massive challenge. So what I would like to do is give you a presentation about a little bit about the company and our products and solutions and our vision and what we do. And maybe if you have some questions afterwards, I'm happily will answer them. So let me go and share my screen, and then you'll probably see the big mess on my screen as well for a second. There we are, but I'm going on to presentation mode. There we are. So I hope you can all see my presentation. So I'd like to talk to you. It's called Extreme Decentral Water Recycling Solutions for Sustainable Water Smart Buildings and Cities. And basically, we started as a husband and wife in a garage story in 2015, but now we've grown to an internationally recognized multi-award-winning venture. And what we try and do is we try to empower people and organizations so they can seriously contribute towards, one of these greatest challenges that we are facing, and that is drastically reducing our water usage. So Wouter was just saying this, and this is really something that, and I think most of us are now a bit more aware than maybe, a few years ago, that we are, really facing a global challenge. Europe has had its worst drought in 500 years. The Netherlands has had its 5th year in a row of drought. We hear this in the US. This really is a global problem. And even here in the Netherlands, where you'd be thinking that we are a water-rich country, well, we're not. And this is coming due to, of course, climate change, which is giving us more long periods of droughts and short periods of lots of rain. But the other part is what I just said, is that we're going to be with so many more people on the planet. And so we literally, water is a basic need. And we will all need water. So, and what we've been doing is we've been pumping up more and more water, but that just simply isn't enough. So we need to rethink about how we use water, what kinds of water we want to use, make it a more circular effect. Usually, this is quite nice. Usually I tell everybody that if the Romans came back to our planet now, they would look at our water system and they say, hey, you're still doing it the way that we did it 2,000 years ago, because that's literally what we're doing. So we really have to change this. So there is also a global market opportunity then for products like ours for actually, recycling and saving water. And we have a vision. And basically, it's very simple. Every building has a water source, because this is lightly contaminated water. And if you collect it on the spot in the building, it's called extreme decentral water recycling or upscale intervention. And if you do it there in the building and you clean it and you use it again for purposes that do not need, tap water quality, you can save up to 45% on water, reduce your wastewater with 45%, which is also a massive problem in increasing with all the, all these people that, all the people that we're getting on the planet. You also save energy and you reduce your carbon footprint. Now, this is not just our idea. This is also substantiated by the United Nations, by UNESCO, and many other scientific articles that talk about decentralized water recycling as a solution. And basically how we see it as a company is that water recyclers will become the new white good, and that within the coming years, decentral water recycling will become will become the standard in every single building. And this will be led by either water shortage, but many times, and that's the trend that we're seeing, is that building codes are changing and actually stipulating that water saving has to be implemented. Otherwise, building permits are not granted, which we see in the United Kingdom, in Australia, in America, and this is growing. Our solution principles were like to create something that is, of course, safe, is compact, has very low maintenance, a modular design, so it's not just for a home, but you can do also larger buildings, that obviously has an automatic backup procedure and obviously is IoT connected. And this is basically, what kind of, it's a lot, this is like a house setup. So we collect lightly contaminated grey water. So this is from bath, shower, washing machine, and also, condensation water from heat pumps, air conditioners, and wash dryers. And this is the water that can go into the Hydraloop. We treat it, we do this organically, sustainably, and thereafter, the treated water, which is clean, clear, safe, and certified, can be reused for toilet flushing, washing machine, and garden irrigation. I'll very briefly talk about the treatment process. For those of you that are interested, we do not use filters, chemicals, or membranes. Why not? Chemicals is a no-no, but filters and membranes, because they clog and they need a lot of maintenance. And this is a product that needs once every 2 years, needs maintenance, and that's all it needs. So what we do is we use sedimentation and flotation to get heavier and lighter things out of the water. And thereafter, we use 3 other techniques: dissolved air flotation, foam fractionation, and we use an aerobic bioreactor. And those 3 processes actually take all the nutrients and all the dirt out of the water. And the final step is UVC disinfection, which we do every 4 hours to re-disinfect the water. And thereafter, it's clean, clear, safe, and certified. I think I already told this, that we have low maintenance, IoT connected water recycling solutions. I'll continue to the next slide. And this is just to give you a visual of water that goes into the building, that goes into the Hydraloop, and on the right, water, how it comes out. And this water is actually certified to the highest international standards. That is actually in the US, but we also have a European standard that we comply with. And by the way, all European countries have accepted this standard. We started with a 300-liter unit, the Hydraloop 300. This is like a unit that you would need in a European setup for a family home. But due to demand, we created larger units for like larger families. So that is the 600 unit for like in America and the Middle East, where people use a lot more water. But it can also be used for a small business. And this is for more commercial real estate. So this is where we are cascading. So this is a modular, scalable made-to-measure solution. And so as an example, you see a little picture here. This is actually a student flat in Ghent, where there are 300 student homes. And in the basement, we have a Cascade installation, recycling all the water from the showers of these 300 students, treating it so it can be reused for their toilet flushing. I'm very proud to say in January, we're going again to the CES Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. And there we will globally launch our very latest product that you can see right here. And basically what you're seeing is the Hydraloop Concealed. This is a product that is integrated with the toilet flushing system, thereby it does not use up any floor space at all. And so this is perfect for tiny houses, small apartments, but also if people just want to retrofit their bathroom, it's a very easy plumbing situation. So this is going to be a very important product for us and a market, because 70% of the Western world, people live in 1 to 3 person apartments. As I said, all the devices are IoT connected, meaning that every device we can see and monitor, give over-the-air software updates, and we can monitor all the systems everywhere in the world and also give feedback. But why would you recycle water? Well, of course, there's some other options. You can, for example, think of rainwater harvesting. But the problem is with it's called the hydrologic cycle. And I told you about the fact that, we are going to experience more longer periods of drought and short periods of water. And we can see it from the last summer, for example, here in Europe. For months, it didn't rain. And that's when you need the water. This is when you need to water your beautiful garden, or all the green in all our cities, etc. There is no water. And at this moment in time, it is then taken over by our beautiful and expensive and precious tap water. So rainwater harvesting is great, but we should collect it, yes, and give it back to our gardens. But what we should do is in the building itself, collect the grey water, because every day, this is the beauty, every day you create a new batch of water, and then you can use that again. Obviously, all the other things like desalination, etc., is also, it's not very good for the environment, but we may need it as well to create more water. But the best thing you can do then is desalinate the water, which means using a lot of energy, and then using it a second time by recycling it inside the building. So using the combination. So this is an overview of some of our customers in England, in the Netherlands. We're talking about whole new areas, like in the Netherlands, in Leeuwarden, where all these homes are being built, as we call it, recycle ready, meaning that the piping, the plumbing for recycling water is already, done by design in these homes. And people can then thereafter decide themselves when they want to buy a water recycler and which brand, for example. But as you can see, we are all over the world, either for B2C or B2B. And you can find a lot about us on the internet, because we are in documentaries like on Netflix, but also we've been getting a lot of visibility, addressing COP leaders, for example, last year. And recently we won a beautiful United Nations award for the impact that our products have on society. So go to our YouTube channel to see all of that. Our go-to-market strategy is like this. As I said, because the plumbing needs to be a little bit different for this to collect the water and use it again. So we are looking at all new construction, and there is loads of it all over the world. And then we foresee that every other building within the next 10, 20, 30 years will be refurbished and made more sustainable. And then that would be a good moment to then implement a water recycler. Some of the buying reasons, why people are buying and going for water recycling, mainly due to water stress, but also, of course, for ROI, because it really depends on which country you live, what the ROI of a water recycler is. For example, in Denmark, you're looking at 4 years for payback. In other years, it can be between 8 to 10, or even sometimes 15 years. But what we're seeing is that there's going to be a lot more restrictions on how we can use our water. So it's not just the ROI, it's also the fact about actually having water. And here in the Netherlands, a week and a half ago, it was front page news that in The Hague, here, the main capital for where our government is situated, that they are really urgently needing to build buildings, but there is not enough water. So they have a massive, massive problem. this is to show you some of the recognition we've been getting. CES Awards. Also, we were one of the 3 finalists at the European PropTech Awards this summer actually this September in Brussels. So very proud of that. And of course, the United Nations Award. And for our new product, we already got an award again for the CES in the category Smart Home. And this is really our slogan, act wise, use water twice. And this is just an overview of the solutions that we have for commercial and residential real estate. So that was my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Are there any questions?
And we did, yeah. Very cool, Sabine. So is this now being implemented and adopted by the real estate industry as much as you would like?
No, because basically...
That's an easy question, easy, short answer.
Yeah. No.
How come?
Yeah. How come? Well, because basically there's a few things. It's not stipulated, for example, in many places it is not yet in the building codes. So you see that now it is those kind of building companies or construction companies that intrinsically really want to, transition to a water smart society and really want to implement also, water sustainability into their buildings or into their homes. And this is growing. I mean, we really see this. We're doing big projects in Morocco, in Gibraltar, in America. We have so many projects, Middle East, of course, but also here in the Netherlands. So we're talking 15,000 homes that we are now hoping to put the signature underneath. These are like temporary homes with water saving. So we are waiting. Well, what will really happen? What will really make the big change for the water transition is like what we had with solar. If you look at solar, what happened here in the Netherlands, at least, is that we decided that we wanted people to transition to more solar energy. So what happened? It came into the building code saying we must implement solar energy, and then there was like VAT reduction on the so financial incentives for people and organizations for the investment of these materials.
Yes. Yeah, the durable energy.
Exactly, and so to get the wheel kind of going, you see that that's what's needed. So it has to be stipulated, then you assist people with incentives and with subsidies and whatever, and then the wheel starts turning. And now in the Netherlands, many buildings have solar energy and solar panels. And all the people that haven't got it at their homes right now, they are really, really, they're not really maybe happy.
Are a little bit
they're
lucky,
not really happy.
But I also see a little bit of a different kind of side on that. I don't want to go into that discussion, but we need a lot of nickel and all that kind of strange materials that come from third world countries. And we don't pay them for getting all these materials out of the ground. So we are happy with our solar panels, and they are very bad being treated by us. So what I do believe in, and that's why your product I like so much, is that we need to consume less more. Way less of everything. Yeah. Energy we need to consume less, but also water we need to consume less, and that is a way better approach than trying to use the same and then find solutions for that. That's just stupid.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that is very important to think about is that, and if you talk in other countries, they cannot believe that the quality of the water that we use to flush our toilets is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So what we should be going to, and this is, we've actually set up an expert group here in the Netherlands called Expert Group Circular Water. We've actually just 2 days ago published a white paper that is now with some of the ministers. It's in the Tweede Kamer at our parliament. It's being discussed this Monday, and it's an advice from 30 companies with all the expertise that we have. And we've said we need different kinds of water that we can use in the built environment, because we don't need, in the Netherlands, it's drinking water quality to flush our toilets. So we have to differentiate certain kinds of water so we can use it, like we can give it a name like household water. You know, so that is a different grade of water with which we do different things, like toilet flushing, washing machine, but also the garden. And of course, many people go then, oh God, it has to be safe. Yeah, it can be safe because we have this European standard. And with that, we say, if it complies with that, it's safe and we can use it for those purposes.
Yeah.
So the more circular way of thinking, of course, is it's with everything now, you know, everything was very linear.
Yeah, I think we need to go to that kind of mindset. You also see it at COP27, 26. It's the South against the North. The North wants to keep their privileges that we build up, but the South is really hurting hard because of this climate change. We need to change fast and
you know, the beauty is, Wouter, we can.
Yeah, we can, because also, there are solutions. Yeah.
Yes, and next to that, and he's one of my heroes, and he's only 96, David Attenborough, you know, but recently he spoke and he said, we can, and we must. And there is such an urgency. And with water, and you know me for a while, I'm like a missionary, and I've been calling in, you know, I've been speaking about this for many years already. And finally, people are starting to realize that we have to do something about this. And to give you also an example, one of the very successful Dutch, but also international architecture companies, MDRDV from Winmaas. Yes. You know, they're building all these beautiful buildings with all these hanging, I call them the Babylon Gardens, you know, with all these gardens, like on the South Us, we have them as well. And you know what they are watered by? What is their irrigation? Well, they collect rainwater, but if that's finished, it switches over to mains water. So we are now discussing with them that all that greenery that we need in our built environments, because you know that if every flat roof on Earth would have a green roof, we could actually take 1.5 degrees. We would reduce it.
That's way smarter than solar panels, I always say. Way smarter.
Yeah. So basically, what in all those buildings, what you should do is you collectively, you know, in those large buildings, for example, collect either collectively or in the building itself or per apartment and recycle water. In summer, you use it for the garden, so they are nice and green and cool the city. And in wintertime, you flush the toilets with it.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. We're
getting there.
We're getting there, and we can do this. That's for sure. So that's really nice. Thank you very much, Sabine, for being with us. And we speak to you soon.
Yes, I hope so.
I hope so too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that was Global PropTech Online about ESG. I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. Thank you very much all for being with us and staying with us all day, some of you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. I don't know which event we have next up, but hopefully we have it already in the chat. And otherwise, we will put it in the chat somewhere. So next event will be also Global PropTech Online. We're going to do an event on trends, and we're going to for sure do an event on networking. There they are. So on the 29th of November, we have a Global PropTech Online event. We're going to talk about the trends to look out for 2023. And then, of course, we have a networking release again on the 6th December, and that is just a 1-hour session. So the 29th is a whole day again, and the 6th December is just a 1-hour session where we will do some energy networking, and you meet 8 different kind of people from all over the world. So that's a lot of fun. So thank you all for being with us, and see you soon. Bye, Amalia. Thank you. Thank you, Elvira. Thank you, and hopefully you were inspired, like you mentioned, and see you next time.